And there's Dave Aladef working his way through. Wayne Laude, Robert Rowe, they're all in that fight as they work their way through Damstep.
Wayne Laude is another name that's been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and I can't think of Dean's surname now. He used to be the workshop manager at Mercedes-Benz. He's now the workshop manager at Mahindra in Northgate Estate. He is one of the pit crew, or the official pit crew of that man going through your screen there, and that is Wayne Laude.
You'd kind of expect Robin Forbes to be a little bit further forward, but it's not like he's lost any pace of late. It's purely a case of Frank Donadio, Jared Evans, Boetie van Zyl, and Brian Evans have upped their pace and held Robin Forbes. They're still in the top 5. I think Bruce Evan Taplin will be pretty happy that only those 5 are in front of him. And I think with the equipment that he's got, I don't think he can push it any harder and squeeze any more out of that vehicle of his.
Classic cars rolling down the backstretch. Big thanks to Lime Property Management, Mr. Clint Ridden. I think this is the 3rd season in a row that he is the official sponsor, the main sponsor of the Kalani Power Series. A big thanks to Clint Ridden, Mr. Lime Property Management himself.
Yep, and that's in conjunction with City of Cape Town, as they're going to work their way now through under Castrol Bridge. Laude Classic Cars, race number 7 for the day. Race number 1 for Laude Classics. Frankie Innes, Gary Fleming, Mike Side. Frankie, take him off a line.
The lights go off and away we go. 8 racing laps as they work their way along the Porsche Club straight towards Block Point Corner. It's Franco Donadio that gets a lead. Boetie van Zyl slips through on the inside of Jared Evans. Then it's Brian Evans and Robin Forbes that is in there behind them as they work their way along the Jabez Straight towards a Castrol Corner. Behind Robin Forbes, it is Bruce Evan Taplin. And Dancing Dave Aladef has been overtaken there by Wayne Laude. Robert Rowe is in that fight as well as they work their way through the Lundstem Kink and down towards turn 3, Damstep.
Well, I tell you what, they're pretty much in the same order, the front 5 that they started. But Jared Evans, that massive big Ford of his, working it through the corners, eating up the rubber. Forbes in that 5th position. Evan Taplin and Laude directly in there. Lotte's actually picked up a nice little toe. Might actually go for a pass as they get down towards Cape Town Corner.
Yeah, he's right on the case of Bruce Evan Taplin, but down into Cape Town Corner. It is that Chev Forenza of a race leader coming through there. That is Franco Donadio. There is Evans right on the case of Boetie van Zyl. Jared Evans, Boetie van Zyl. Then it's Brian Evans. Behind him, that's Robin Forbes. Behind Robin Forbes as they come down towards us is Bruce Evan Taplin. Behind Evan Taplin, it is Wayne Laude. Then it is Dave Aladef, Rob Rowe, as the field comes running through into turn number 1. And Brian Evans has a look up on the inside of the Corvette of Robin Forbes.
Oh, Brian Evans with the Escort. The dark blue Escort, I think it's a Mark II that he's got there. And that one is pretty quick. But keep an eye on Boetie van Zyl. He's not actually doing a bad job, although Franco Donadio, we know, is the quickest man out there. Van Zyl and the first of the Evans, Jared Evans, are running in close proximity to one another with Robin Forbes and Bruce Evan Taplin coming through behind that.
Yeah, here comes Brian. Then it is Robin Forbes. Then it's Bruce Evan Taplin coming through. Wayne Laude is right on the case of Evan Taplin as they work their way down the backstretch. And look at this. That V8 has been hassled here by this Capri. Boetie van Zyl has been hassled there by Jared Evans as they work their way out of Cape Town Corner. And he is working hard. He's Van Zyl. He is working very, very hard. He's Van Zyl. And to try and keep Evans behind him. Here they come. The Ford Fairmont versus the Ford Capri.
Yeah, Boetie van Zyl putting up a mighty fine performance as always. Here we see Brian Evans in that Escort making his way by from Robin Forbes. Then Evan Taplin, Laude. They actually switch positions as they come across the line. And it looks like Bruce Evan Taplin's actually dropping down the field ever so slightly on our screens. Now swapping down there. You see Bruce Evan Taplin is going further past Kearney, past Fuyun, Matia, the young Nicholas Faree. As I lie, now the screen rearranges itself, so there obviously is a bit of a transponder thing going on at the minute as we watch this too, as Jared Evans goes up the inside, nudges that massive Fairmont of Boetie Fonseca out of the way and says, nope, this Capri's coming through and you're not going to stop me, as he does just that and through into Sorrel Sweep.
I tell you, Boetie won't be happy with that, that's for sure. Here comes Brian Evans towards us. He's in the Mark 1 Ford Escort. And then it's Robin Forbes in the Corvette Stingray. Then behind Forbes, it is Bruce Evan Taplin with Wayne Lotter right on his case. Then it's Dancing Dave Aladef as they work their way through. Rob Rowe that's in there as well. Then it's a Lotter Senior as the field races down the Kalani Straight towards Cape Town Corner.
Look at this 325 IS, or dual 325 IS, and a Ford Escort racing together down towards turn number 5. As we look at Franco Donadio once again. In the Donadio plant hire, Chev Can-Am, and look at this fun sail, and Evans once again Boetie up the inside, taking that spot back. That car really is on rails, and so is he, as they race through block 1, a little bit edgy out there into turn number 1, block 1 for Brian Evans. Then it's Forbes, then it's Evan Taplin and Lotte with Aladef now opening up a gap between that white BMW 325 IS of Rob Rowe, as well as Lotte Senior.
Yeah, Lotte Senior is in. That's Daniel Lotte Senior. As we watch the cars coming through now, and that is Brian Evans that's coming through. He's actually getting away here from Robin Forbes. Then Bruce Evan Taplin been hassled here by Wayne Lotter, and then it's a lovely fight behind them. That is Dave Aladef, Rob Rowe, and Daniel Lotter Senior.
And there you see just on the outside, that is the Vance Kearney car, the number 93 Capri, that unfortunately has pulled off to the side of the circuit. He had an issue off in turn number 2 a couple of laps ago, and it seems like there's more damage than there wasn't, so he's pulled off to the side of the circuit. You almost can't see Daniel Lotter Senior as they make their way down the Kalani back straight. But 4 more laps left to go, including this one for Donadio. Just behind, Fonseca is now pulling a slight gap towards Jared Evans in that 3rd spot.
Oh, that's 2nd and 3rd heading out of turn number 1. I love this Ford Fairmont GT. Here we see Brian Evans, that's Jared's dad, coming towards us. Then the Chevy Corvette Stingray of Robin Forbes. And then behind Robert Forbes, it's Bruce Evan Taplin, and he's been hassled here by Wayne Lotter.
Now look at up the inside of Lotte Senior on Rob Rowe in the BMW. And just like that, after a little bit of patience, Daniel Lotte Senior has taken that position for the Lot Speed team and has moved up into 9th position overall. There you see that yellow flag still on the inside of your screen. That is still for Vance Kearney that's sitting outside. But we look to Forbes, ahead of Evan Taplin and ahead of Lotte.
And then behind them, we just missed that one. We'll pick him up as they come out of Damstep. That's that lovely fight that's raging on. It is Dancing Dave Aladef, Daniel Lotte Senior, and Robert Rowe as they hit. Now Robert Rowe dives up onto the inside. He's going to try and sneak through on the inside of Daniel Lotte Senior, but does not succeed in that move. He's lost a couple of car positions, or ground I should say, to him as the 3 of them run down the Kalani Straight towards Cape Town Corner.
Robert Rowe, the chairman of the class, almost having a bit of a Code Brown moment up the inside of the
I love that one, Code Brown moment.
Right-hander, but he loses a little bit of ground. But if these 2 in front of him, he can watch them. He's seeing them fight right in front of him. He needs to let them do their thing and almost harm each other in a way to slow themselves down so that he can capitalize. As we see Forbes once again ahead of Evan Taplin. That's fighting for 5th, 6th, and 7th as Wayne Lotte makes his way by, and then 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's your top 10 between Aladef, Lotte Senior, and Robert Rowe.
Yeah, that's a lovely little fight between them, and they are actually working their way now towards Castrol Corner. Gaps are opening up between them. Dave Aladef is getting away. Lotte slowing right down. Lotte slows right down, and Lotte is losing ground there. Not all well in that escort for Lotte Senior.
Exactly that. When you keep watching and now, once we get to them coming around the circuit a little bit, I'll bring something up. But look at this battle once again. It's Van Zyl and Evans, toe-to-toe, or boot to hood, if you will, that are fighting it out still, coming towards us now, down towards Cape Town corner they go. There's Brian Evans in that 4th spot overall. He'll come across the line to start another lap in just a moment from now. And there we see Robin Forbes in the beautiful prepped Stingray making his way down towards the start-finish line. Evan Taplin in the Corolla with that 4 AGE motor coming towards us. Then look at this. So we see Aladef, we see Rowe, and 3 E30 box-shaped BMWs in a row. However, that third one of Falyun is actually a 2-door compared to the 4 doors as they rush on down towards block point turn number 1.
That's Aaron's Falyun, and hasn't done main circuit for quite some time as the field comes through. He's actually raced karting as well a couple of years ago, did Aaron's Falyun, and it's lovely to see him back out running once again as Piet Mathieu comes down towards us. Then Fourie is in there behind him as we watch them. Here's a lovely fight coming towards us now. That's a little bit further down, but we'll get the lead. Here comes the leader right behind them to start his final lap. Race leader, Franco Donadio, and he's the quickest guy out there, the 123.125.
Yep, as there we see a lock-up for Mr. Philly Truscott in the Alpha, just as Franco Donadio was coming up behind that group of back markers. Then we see Boetie van Zyl opening up a slight gap. It now says on our screens 1.1 seconds between himself and Jared Evans as they go down towards Castro Corner, turn number 2. We'll just watch as your leader comes out and past. He makes his way by all of the others at the back end of the field. That's Laude Jr. as well as Malcolm Pfeiffer in that Alpha. Out of Dam's Dip they go, and 2 more corners for your leader.
Yeah, he's got less than a half a lap to go before he sees a checkered flag. That's Franco Donadio, and he was 6.4 seconds ahead of Boetie van Zyl when they started this last lap. And Evans was only 1.1 seconds behind Van Zyl, racing down towards turn 5, Cape Town corner, for the final time in race 1 for Laude Classic Cars. He's the Chevy Forenza Can-Am in P1 of Franco Donadio, and he will win this one comfortably indeed. He was 6.4 when he started this lap, and we'll see what it is between himself and Van Zyl. Here comes Boetie van Zyl to the line. Boetie van Zyl will get to the line just ahead of Jared Evans, 7.9, nearly 8 seconds behind Donadio.
Yeah, we also see Daniel Laude Jr. come across the line just ahead of Malcolm Pfeiffer.
That's Fullier Truscott that's going very slow there.
He'll pull right into the pits in that Julia. Robin Forbes now sitting in at that 5th spot. However, as we come to the line, Brian Evans in 4th overall comes to take 4th overall and 2nd in class ahead of Robin Forbes, 3rd in class and 5th overall. Then Bruce Evan Taplin in the Corolla brings that car across the line, mighty fine and mighty loud. And then Wayne Lotter, the 1st in class C, brings it home ahead of 2 mighty E30 325 IS BMWs of Dancing Dave Aladef and Robert Rowe.
Yeah, and then it is Aaron's Falyun that crosses the line. And that is your top 10 across the line.
There we see Lotte Senior, who had that issue once before, slowing right down. We weren't certain of what the cause could be, and we probably won't know until race number 2. But he brings that Escort across the line. Doesn't quite sound like it's ailing, but it makes its way across. Then we see Piet Mathieu in the 944, ahead of young Nicholas Fourie, part of the quite prestigious
famous Fourie racing
history.
Family, yeah.
Yes,
There's so many of them, man.
And his grandpa and his uncle, even, all very, very synonymous to Killarney International Raceway.
Well, it was a dominating performance by Franco Donadio. He won by almost 8 seconds, 7.9 to be exact. And after on Boetie van Zyl, but I will say that Jared Evans kept Boetie pretty honest throughout that entire race. Sponsored by Laude Classic Cars. Here's a replay of Jared Evans making life difficult for Boetie van Zyl in the Ford Fairmont GT. There was a moment that he had his nose ahead of that Ford Fairmont. Ford versus Ford. Fairmont versus Capri.
Yeah, but probably is much worse for Jared when he's got this massive cruise ship behind him in his rearview mirrors compared to Boetie, where the car's so wide he can maybe not even see Jared when he's right behind him.
But I'll tell you what, it wasn't easy. He had to keep his eyes on that rearview mirror because that blue and white Ford Capri was crowding his boot lid.
And there is Vance Kearney, already an issue. It looks like a lockup of one tire, and I wouldn't be surprised if something's broken there, or maybe the brakes have just binded on that front left.
Seems like it, yes.
And he went off in turn number 2 into the gravel trap, and then obviously landed up outside of turn 3.
And that's the checkered flag you saw there for Franco Donadio.
And another big thank you to Laude Classic Cars, of course. For those that don't know, their showroom in Cape Town CBD. And what they do, they are purveyors of premium sports, classic and investment cars. They source and procure some of the finest classic and modern automotive machines from the African continent and ship them across the world. And of course, Clinton Lawrence, who is a major force behind Laude Classic Cars here in Cape Town, also used to race a V12 Jag XJS around the circuit, and he was supposed to race at the Cape Town
Classic Hill Climb
Speed Classic Festival, and they couldn't get that car running in time. But hopefully he'll bring that Jag out throughout the year.
I'm pretty sure we will see him out on circuit again in the not too distant future. He loves his motorsport, likes to have functions there as well at Laude Classic Cars.